All right, out to the lines. We're back again. I don't know why everyone keeps asking me what episode we're on. I feel like I don't know, dude. Just I don't know. So stop asking, dude. Nick Saban, shout out to that guy, but also fuck that guy. Go dogs. But we're back with another episode. Again, a lot to jump into today. Back with the friend of the pod, Tucker DeCamp.
Yeah,
we made some promises to each other last time. We were going to be on together, and we're keeping those promises.
Yeah, that may have been 2 weeks ago. We may have done some filler pods since then, but we're back, and as usual, glad to be back. Let's keep this promise rolling.
You want to give us a little bit about what we got going on here? I can give us the viewers or listeners, either one, which you're watching on YouTube or anywhere wherever else you get your fucking podcast from. We got March Madness viewership, geopolitical things that are going on. I promise we won't get too political. Nike pulling from Foot Locker, and Nikola shares somehow surging again. But hey, we'll get into it. What else do you got for us?
Zero reason why Nikola shares should be surging, but we'll get into that later. Either way, going off of Nike pulling out of Foot Locker, wanted to touch on LVMH maybe taking on Ralph Lauren. That might be something. And then we're seeing a huge, I think last pod or the pod before, we were talking about the most relevant topic in the past few months of supply chain issues and how people are kind of moving into different solutions for that area. So
I'm excited to hear about that one. I don't know anything about that, so stay tuned.
It's going to be good.
Perfect. So let's jump in. Daily dose of sports news. I don't know. It's a coin toss. Do we get right into the news since it is the most kind of pressing topic of the BS
Past,
that is
week?
Yeah, man. So Russia, if you've been under a rock, Russia invaded Ukraine. Lots of things have been going on since then. Russian oligarchs getting their accounts frozen. The ruble, whatever their country currency has plummeted to less than 1 cent in US dollars.
Looking like crypto, baby.
I was gonna say it's got that sharp down and to the right trajectory there, baby. It's not looking good for them though. Like you said, there's plenty of pressure that's getting thrown back on Putin here. Again, Russian oligarchs only care about their money. They don't give a shit about who's invading who or what's going on with them. They're asking Putin why their money is worth nothing now. So Putin's getting a lot of backlash from that. Kind of what we touched on a little bit more of war is just good for business with the military industrial complex that is here in the US. Stocks are set to bounce back pretty hard here, but it's my opinion. But give me a sense of what you think here. What's going on?
Well, looking at stocks, it was crazy because I believe that was the last Thursday night. Can't remember. It was like 23rd or something like that. They invade. We get news that Russia invades Ukraine, and stocks sharply lower in the morning, and then somehow there's this full rebound throughout the day. And I think that just speaks to people going with Warren Buffett and just buying the dip. Like, what are we buying? When are we buying it? How much are we buying? We're buying the dip. Wherever it is, we're getting in on it, and we're getting this discount apparently. So I think that
it speaks to a lot of what, like, we're not, I don't know what it is, but like consumer confidence is just at an all-time high. Like people are buying and buying and buying. I mean, it's a cultural thing on social media. You go on there, when you see, as soon as you see red, you're buying the dip. It never, people don't ever think of the consequences of maybe that war brings, or even an unhealthy stock market that's going down. But people are just thinking it'll go up eventually. Like, you just got to buy, which in turn has been what's happened in the market. But people do seem to not really care about what's happening in the world.
Yeah, and I think people, it's getting lost on people that we have moved quickly, and I think definitely in the last couple of years, they're seeing a decline in the amount of retail traders that we have in this space, but we're still seeing massive moves, i.e. today seeing Target come out with its earnings, beat its earnings call and shoot up 11%. Like, if you told somebody that Target would be up 11% in a single day off of earnings 2-3 years ago, oh god, like 3-4 years ago, they'd say you're crazy. Even these stocks that aren't big tech, are moving very largely, and I think it's just speaking to the way that people are trading and institutions are trading now, in the way that, hey, there's a small dip in the market, we can get in, we can get, obviously at that scale, millions of dollars based off of this. And like you said, confidence is at an all-time high that we're going to continue to go up into the right. So any downward turn is, the bulls are chomping at the bit, and the bears are like, what is going on? We get a little sliver of hope, and then we go back up. But bringing it back around to the actual conflict in question, it's definitely an interesting play. I think there was a lot of misguided decisions on Putin's part, just not understanding the response of the world community. And I think
Yeah,
that
read
was
the fucking room, guy.
yeah, that was like huge, dude. Like,
Read the fucking room, dude.
watching this, I think that, what would that be, like globalism, it is huge now with the internet. Everyone's so interconnected, and people can move at a moment's notice, including Elon with Starlink. But just shoot that out there, guy. Like, you just like turn it on, like, what, I don't know, whatever he did. Nice move, Batman. But Putin is like sorely undervalued everybody else and how they would respond in supporting Ukraine. And honestly, he is in a terrible spot, because when you think about it, if he, gets in a peace talk or something like that, which definitely is the road that we want, he looks very weak. And I think that, I don't know where that goes from there, but he's pretty much collapsed his economy by doing this. And there's not really a clear sign as to why. Obviously Ukraine has natural resources, but it doesn't seem like anything actually on surface level that makes sense, being that, he's telling everyone, oh, well, Ukraine is part of Russia and they should be. It's like, you're going to commit an act of war just because you want to play like land grab on people.
Yeah, exactly, man.
That doesn't make any sense.
Kind of going back to what you said about it's in the age of information that we're in now. It's like everyone's seeing this, and people are weighing in on it heavily, and that's swaying public opinion within Russia. Like, the people are not happy with what's happening. That's why I keep saying, like, dude, read the room. Like, no one wants this to happen. This is just strictly an ego play for, like you said, Ukraine used to be a part of all of Eastern Europe and Russia back in the day. Like, it's not the same time anymore, man. Just hang it up.
Yeah. Give it up, old man.
Yeah, give it up, old man.
Oh my god.
Outside of that, I'm not seeing a ton of, I don't know, like you said, consumers are continuing to buy when it's in the red. Public opinion is not shaping up well. Do you have any other ending kind of closing thoughts on this? I don't want to get too deep into it, but do you have any closing thoughts on where we're at in all of this? I know sanctions have been put out. We've canceled SWIFT accounts, basically killed all of money going in and out of Russia. But do you think it ends swiftly, or do you think it's going to drag on? Where are you at with that?
I'm not too sure. I think that, we're just going to have to see how Ukraine, holds up, and hopefully we can all support in the ways that we are currently, that I believe that is probably the best way for us to support Ukraine, in the way that us getting physically involved warrants, I think, a greater military response, and by the means of, we're getting slight news that Putin's waving around his nuclear team, and
Yeah,
it's
all right,
like,
man.
what are you doing? What are you doing?
Like you said, I mean, he's um, people know he's on his way out, or at least trying to get him out of office. Hopefully for the betterment of Russia as a whole. I think if they can finally move to a democratic election, that would be great. Instead of just this, like you said, this old guy just stealing everyone's thunder here. But
Yeah, I definitely think that playing off of that in the future, whatever comes of this conflict, there is definitely going to be more negatives outweighing the positives of this move. It's going to be a lot of struggle, and the shitty part is that the struggle is going to come on the normal citizens of Russia,
yeah,
which that's a rough thing to do for your country, but not much of a good move.
I was gonna say, I don't know, man. Next, on the rise of that, we'll keep it within the stock market here. Nike, or Nike for you Europeans out there, pulling out of a Foot Locker stores, looking like they're going to go out on their own here. That prompted a 35% plummet in Foot Locker stock.
Yeah, bad day for Foot Locker, bad day for the refs out there, the boys in stripes. Shout out to you. Wow, honestly, it's just speaking again on traders moving very large amounts. Going back, if this happened somewhere 2015, 2010, 2005, obviously a little bit further back, these things would be drawn out over time. Over the course of 6 months, we'd see 10, 15, 20% drops, and it's wild now. I forget who made the comment the other day. It's like we had a big red day, and it was like all these stocks down 15, 20, 30%, and it's like, oh, I can't find any of these on Coinbase. It's like, dude, it's for real. These companies, honestly, every time I walk by a Foot Locker, I'm in a mall, and it's depressing and in the least, but still, these massive moves that are occurring. It's wild to see what's coming out of the future of the stock market when it's going to move like this for moves that haven't affected already. We haven't even seen the financials of them already pulling out. We're down 35%.
Exactly. Like you said, like these things are whiplashing way faster than before in the market. These things, like you said, used to take weeks, months at a time to kind of flesh themselves out and really figure out, okay, like where's the stock going, really, how bad is it really going to get, and how far down to the right is it really going to go? It's going there immediately. We are finding out
right now it's been priced in. But back to the subject, it's honestly a good move by Nike, because I think they're going to have a little bit more control over their product. You see like a lot of their middle ground product, in my opinion, probably a lot of waste there. They have their featured lines, and they'll come up with some hype shoe or some line, the Travis Scott line, something like that. And obviously they have the lines that do well, the Jordan lines and everything else that's pumping. But you see a lot of, I want to say 70% of their line. I would say that probably does, 50%. And the other 30 is is really actually bringing in all of the money and all of the sales.
It's kind of like the golden rule of 80-20, like 20% of your product is doing 80% of your sales. Similar situation with that. Like you said, the Jordans, the free runs, what's the Nike Blazers, like your in demand products are the ones that are carrying you and doing all your revenue. But there's
Yeah.
the one-offs that seem to be, I don't know, I walk into Foot Lockers nowadays and I don't recognize the majority of those shoes. Like I can't understand who's buying those.
Yeah, and I think that's the big thing is that now Nike's seeing smaller shoe companies coming out, like Allbirds, for example, in brick and mortar. Nike can control from the Nike store online what they're selling out there, but I think shoes are obviously a big brick and mortar item where people want to try those things on. They want to see them with their outfit, and going into that, they're seeing that these smaller stores control how their store looks, where their store is, because at the end of the day, Nike's not being able to control where Foot Locker puts their stores. And newsflash, Foot Locker's putting their stores in like depressing malls.
Yeah.
So not a good look for their shoes and not a good look for Nike in general. I wouldn't want to be seeing our product wherever it is, whether, because Nike, I would say, hits upper echelon of the spectrum, not necessarily a luxury brand because they have a wide spectrum of shoes that they're putting out there. But you want to control your image. And if they're putting mid-range shoes out there at Foot Locker, at DSW, at mall locations, and they're just not going to look as good as if they were to control their own store, see the store. When I see a Nike store, I don't need anything, but I'll go in because it's like, that's a Nike store. I rarely see one, and it's Nike. You're just going to go in there. When I walk past a Foot Locker, I like wide berth myself because I know that, you just don't want to go in there.
Yeah, ew, get me away from that thing. It's just, oh yeah, keep me away. No, but yeah. It's kind of what hitting the nail on the head there. There's another comment. I'm just gonna steer clear of that one. There's exactly what you said of just being able to create that brand experience. Like the one company that does it so well is Apple. Like if you've been to anyone who's listening, if you've been to the Apple store at the Grove now in LA, it's a full-blown experience. Like there's greenery that's in there. It's falling from the ceilings. Like people are lining up just to take pictures at this thing. And that's what you don't get when you're putting your brand in other retailers like Foot Locker. Nike is not able to control that experience.
Yeah. And I think that all stems from, I want to probably do an ignorant disclaimer here, but I believe that it stems from when Tesla started putting their cars and not having dealerships. It's just you control how the public sees your product, and your brick and mortar store is a part of that.
Yeah.
How you present that and the wrapping, so to speak, is how people are going to see your product, regardless of how it is. If you looking back, if I saw like a Tesla dealership, I'd be like that, everyone has a negative connotation of that, as well as looking towards Foot Locker. You got the kind of joke costumes that they got going on there. And, no offense to anybody who works at Foot Locker, but that, that's kind of what it is. It's kind of 2010, 2005-ish, like we're getting away from malls.
When And One was the big shoe, like when Shaq's And One shoe was big, that's when Foot Locker was like at its prime and like really busting. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like that's what. Sorry, the kids out there these days, but
Bussin'.
that's is busting. Like that's when Foot Locker was the vibe. Like every you get out of school, like you run to Foot Locker, see what they had there, like try the shoes on, and like that was just it, man. That's when malls were popping off. But yeah, man, like that's what kids' childhoods were filled with.
Yeah,
but
and
yeah, going back to your Tesla comment of just if you've been to the Tesla store that they have in Fashion Island in Newport Beach, it's a complete and utter experience. Like that's the type of thing we're talking about, of being able to, that they wouldn't get at a dealership. Like they're able to walk them. I'll walk each person through what type of leather they're going to be having. They're going to walk it out. It's like a legit showroom. They roll out the red carpets for every customer.
Yeah, exactly. And I think at the end of the day, Nike wants their product specialized in brick and mortar. They don't want it to be Adidas, Reebok, Nike, Adidas. They don't want to be a part of the crowd. You want to see a full Nike store they're going to present maybe 30 shoes fully spread out, with full presentation all over the walls. And you're going to get a specialized experience rather than, you're walking in and people's kids are screaming. They're trying to try stuff on. It's like they know that's not where the money is now. It's moving in a different direction.
Exactly. On the similar topic of shoes here, let's move into our next one, which is March Madness viewership predictions. What are we thinking here? Just for quick reference, the NBA All-Star game did 20 million. I think we can get a little more than that in March Madness.
With what's like a horrible showing, and for some reason I just have a feeling NASCAR Daytona 500 was on the same day. They did 40% higher viewership than the All-Star game. I'm just gonna shoot it out there and say that maybe there's a very, very small overlap in NASCAR fans and NBA fans. Just got a feeling. However, someone overlapping on both, Mike Jordan, he owns the Bubba Wallace team, and they were 6 feet away from winning. So I'm just gonna go out there and say that the winner of that day was Mike Jordan, because that man almost won the Daytona 500 and then walks over to his PJ, flies over to, I think it was NOLA, wherever they were having the All-Star game, and then goes and does the 75th anniversary for the All-Star game.
You guys winning at life, man.
Winning. And then he calls out Magic Johnson in one-on-one, and that man was for serious, dude. He was ready to get after it. I saw that face and everyone's laughing. No, that guy was serious.
He's stone cold, man.
Bro, Magic, you better get fucking stem cell shots in your knees, dude. This is for real.
He is taking no prisoners, bro.
But getting back to it, last year, actually, obviously we have to compensate for COVID, but last year the viewership was at its lowest since I want to say it was since it started in 1984, it was at 19 million or something like that. So it should be interesting. I think that, despite the decline last year, I'm actually hoping that there will be a resurgence, whatever it may be, in the viewership, because I feel like there's a coming around of support for college sports. Obviously NFL was on a hot streak this year, and
whole nother level, and credit to the games for that, I think, because
almost every single game, I think every single game except for one, came down to the final possession. Yeah. You cannot script that any better. But I do believe that we're seeing a increase in viewership and support of all college sports, people getting back into it. I just want to say that they're going to come back regardless of the showing by the All-Star game. I think that also it's a whole nother play when it comes to playoffs. Everybody gets a little wonky with All-Star games and Pro Bowls anyway. So I'm gonna go out there and say they're gonna beat last year.
I think the NCAA crushes viewership with March Madness. At least crushes NBA viewership for that All-Star game. The reason why is sports betting is legal almost everywhere now. Everyone loves to gamble.
Huge.
Everyone loves to gamble. And the NBA has been politicized so much over the past few years. People just don't care anymore. They just don't want anything to do with it. That has not happened in the NCAA and college basketball. People are still bright-eyed and bushy-tailed watching the games. There's no political stands going on. They're just out there to watch their teams, support their alma maters, and now again bet on games. That's all they care about. So that's why I think viewership is going to skyrocket.
On top of that, to add to that, I think that one of the big things that will separate it or like set it apart from the NBA as well, which I think is the NBA's downfall, looking towards all pro sports and then directly compared to college sports, is that the NBA is so in support of the players doing what they want. And you see guys like, I think it was Ben Simmons, guys sitting out, they're getting paid, John Wall's getting paid $41 million a year to do nothing, hasn't played a game. They have all this, and it's just like, okay, it's every guy for himself. How are you going to support the league? How are you going to support, you're from LA, you're a Lakers fan. How are you going to love your Lakers team when your star player, LeBron James, going into the All-Star break is like, yeah, I could come back to Cleveland and just I'm just going to do that. You never hear that in NBA or NFL. You never hear that in football teams. It's like, I'm sticking with my team. I'm going where I'm going. And I get that that's always been a thing. And that's pretty much why the Lakers have become as large as they have been, because, players will go and do great things for 5 years and then their contract's up and then the Lakers will pay them millions of dollars. But getting back to it, the thing that separates this March Madness in college basketball is it's about the team. It's about your school going through the insane bracket, the insane upsets. That's what it's all about. And that's why it's called March Madness, is we're getting into it, and Gonzaga could lose to freaking Pittsburgh tomorrow and be out. It's gonna be wild, but everybody is full in 100% for their team, and that's what it's all about. And I think that everybody can get on board with that.
Yeah, man. Like you said, it's NBA owners are not doing what NFL owners are. NFL owners are ruling with an iron fist, and it's proving to work very well on both sides, regardless if NFL players want to admit it. They're being fucking crybabies, man. You are getting paid tens of millions of dollars a year, yes, to sacrifice your body and put it all out there. But again, that's what you signed up for. And that's why you're getting paid that cushy salary for. Get out there and do what you got paid to do. Don't sit around here and bitch about player safety. Football is a warrior sport, man. You knew what you signed up for when you put the helmet on when you were 8 years old.
Yeah.
NBA players are now crying about rights and things like that. Dude, you're running around. I'm gonna go the same term, man. Shut up and dribble, man. Shut up and dribble.
Yeah. Or, quoting Anon, just get back to work, get back to the office, figure out what your boss likes. Yeah. Get him those donut holes, bro. He likes that oat milk. Get him that oat milk with his coffee.
Seriously, man, get back to fucking work, dude. Oh, man. Last topic I got for you is somehow this company has not died. Someone explained to me why the fuck Nikola shares are surging after hours here. They haven't even produced a fucking car yet. Please explain this to me. Someone.
Literally nothing makes sense. They have no revenues. I think I'm going to butcher this, but I believe that their operating cost last year was negative 90 million or something like that. Something ridiculous. And they're shooting out numbers. You're like, yeah, I think next year we'll probably, look in the range of 90 to 100 and 150 million for revenues. next year. I'm like,
how is
why not 0 to 200 at that point?
let's get one sale first here. Let's do $1 in revenue before you're gonna fucking project $150 million in revenue. You haven't even sold a car yet.
You know what? Even better than that. Why don't we just get a real car so you can like put it on a commercial? You don't have to CGI the commercial. You don't have to pay for the CGI. You just film the actual truck. So just like make one truck.
That's perfect. Like at least have a car with an engine in it, so you have to push it down a hill like the last time.
I'm telling you, they got Flintstones in their trucks. This is like if a car was a bunch of trolls in a trench coat. That's exactly what it is.
The American people are getting scammed out here. Whoever's an investor in that company, you're getting scammed.
Yeah, they might as well start making NFTs. They're already really good at it. So
when's the rug pull coming, dude?
I know. What the hell? You're killing me with that.
Oh, man. That's all I got for you today, man. Do you got something else for us here?
Oh,
those were the hot button topics.
I'm coming in real hot now. Going back to retail and clothing, there is whispers that LVMH might be buying Ralph Lauren. And I think this is a massive win for Ralph Lauren. If they go through and take over this company, all they do is they're just going to put a new creative director in. They're going to throw some collabs at it, everything, and just like push it all the chips onto the table and bring Ralph Lauren out of 1995 all denim, Canadian tuxedos. They are.
This is where I've been vibing at, man. I've been sad to say, but I'm the boomer of the group here. I love my Ralph Lauren here. I'm fine with where they're at here.
All this polo on, I got horsepower or what? Dude?
I'm wearing the shorts right now. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
My God.
But no, like you said, this is another, like, I wouldn't call it a failing company, but it's a company that's got behind in the times. Was one of the most high fashion brands out there at the time, and has yet to jump on the trend of hiring a streetwear creative director and, like you said, bringing it back to life. And that's what's going to happen. Like you said, they're going to first 2 weeks and as CEO or of ownership, they're going to come in, hire some young creative director from who knows what company out there, streetwear company, but it's going to get the job done. And sales are going to hit record high as all these other companies have been.
Instantly. It's like automatic formula. It will automatically happen, and I hope that it works, because I think that they're definitely have a fantastic brand, and like you said, just have gotten a little bit behind on the times, and their marketing and their design departments just kind of sticking with what they knew, and obviously they're holding on from the grandparents of our generation, and I think they could really use this boost. So I'm kind of rooting for it.
I mean, like, it working for a software development company, we hear the term legacy technology quite a bit, and this is becoming a legacy brand very quickly.
Legacy brand, dude.
So I don't know, like you said, it's a winning formula. And if you look at Fortune 500 companies, they found a formula that works. Hire an Indian CEO. It just works. High fashion brands, hire a streetwear brand CEO or creative director. It just works, man.
It just works.
Plug and play.
Literally plug and play.
That's it, man.
They're like, yep, we got all of them. Just toss them in there, and then boom, it's done.
What else you got for us?
Last thing I got, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about our.
Do you have a second to talk about our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ?
Sir? Please,
I'm
sir,
just saying. You
time.
sound like a door knocker in Utah. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do give off that vibe sometimes. I don't know what it is yet. I'm still trying to figure that out. Don't know what it is, but I really wanted to get into how people are coming and turning around and trying to like create real long-term solutions for supply chain issues. And what we're seeing is a massive increase in the industry or the manufacturing sectors and farming sectors in trying to minimize their space and localize their plants and their sourcing. So everything is trying to go vertical farming, get much smaller, get into towns, do farming at any time of the year. And in manufacturing, you're seeing certain car makers in Europe will have smaller factories located within 30 to 50 miles of their target city or target area, and they'll produce 10,000 cars a year, which is a pretty modest number, but that's still a lot of cars, and they're supplying more than what the projected demand is for that area, and they're also reducing their costs, and there's no supply chain issues because you could literally walk to the factory.
So this is another big play. Shout out to Jamie Bell for the information on this one, but he used to manage the assets of a very wealthy person in LA. I'll refrain from saying his name because he's owns a couple well-known companies out there that you have definitely heard of. But he owns a ton of warehouses across the LA area, and similar situations. Like, he's leasing them to these vertical farming companies that are coming in, growing. It's creating farm to table, quote unquote, very quickly. Like, and those are the types of companies that are coming in and leasing those warehouses and production farms. So it's spreading everywhere, man.
Yeah, it is everywhere. And, people are taking on these things. And I think that's great because it's creating more competition. You're going to see a rise in the amount of shareholders in those spaces, because, when people are taken out and, companies are spreading these things out to smaller communities, that means, it may not be a franchise, but that means people in that area getting jobs specifically for that industry. And I think that, this is a great move. Great.
You said
move,
it helps the local community a lot too. Like you said, it increases jobs, like it's the visibility of people they know what they're putting on their plate at dinner at night. Like, it's coming from somewhere close. You're employing people that are close to you in the areas. You might know them every day, but you know them. It's local people. So that's always good to see things branching out and really making an impact like that. Not to get all mushy gushy on people. Jeez, still a big capitalist here, but it's good to help the common folk nowadays.
Yeah, remember, he still has Ralph Lauren pants on, so don't get too soft on this guy.
I can smell the pour on you over there.
Oh god.
Other than that, what do we got? Typical outros. Piece of content you want to look at, people should be paying attention to. Any shout outs you want to give? What do you got today?
Not much. Just I think we talked about it a little bit last episode. We're getting into a little bit of the coding community, and watch out for E. Ross. He's going to be starting some new content for all you coding people out there. I'll be more on the dark horse side, but we're looking at classes on various websites, I guess. But go learn something. That's my content recommendation. Is like, go on YouTube, go do something, go learn something new and get better.
We know you're not getting outside. That's what we know people are not doing. People are not going outside when it's this cold. I mean, I wouldn't know about that, but like, you people where it gets cold. You people. But again, like you said, take some time for yourself. If you don't like the situation you're in, there's always a place where you can learn it for free. There's YouTube, there's tons of free courses on Udemy. Like, go out there, learn something new, make the career change you're looking to make the career upgrade you're looking to make, get a raise out there, do something, because inflation is here to bite you in the ass.
Yeah. Start running.
Yes, run quickly. Other than that, man, it's always a pleasure to have you. Now we're big progress from us. We're making moves here.
Yeah, we're cooking, man. We're cooking. Find us on TikTok. Find this guy on TikTok.
Oh,
we're getting after it.
We will soon be releasing Outside the Lines content on TikTok very shortly. Breaking news here. Tucker did not even know this, but this is happening very, very soon here.
Wild predictions coming out of here.
But yeah. All right, guys. This is all for me. Have a enjoyable rest of your guys' evenings, mornings, afternoons, gym session, walks, cooking
and
dinner.
For all you people in the cold areas, all you people, it's springtime. We're getting some sun. We're getting some sun. Let's go.
And last but not least, prayers to everyone out there in the Ukraine-Russia situation. Hope everyone's staying safe. Reach out anywhere you can. I know things are tough out there, but try to find any outlet. I hope this can provide some sort of entertainment or anything for someone that's in a not so great space.
Agreed.
All right, guys. Outside the Lines episode, again, whatever the fuck it is. Enjoy it. We'll see you next time. Peace.